What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, the new season of My Hero Academia Vigilantes is finally back, and honestly, this season came at pretty much the perfect time. Coming out like just a few weeks after the end of mainline My Hero Academia, just when people are wanting My Hero Academia back in their lives, we have Vigilante Season 2. And honestly, man, Vigilante Season 2 is already being teed up to be even better than Season 1 in my opinion. Season 1 was already great, but season 2 already feels like it's operating at a different level. Even though this is kind of just like a setup episode, this episode was still really great. So, first and foremost, what I really liked about this episode too was the opening and the ending themes. The opening and ending, they felt very cinematic when I was watching them. Like the visuals, especially for the ending, is something I really was not expecting going in. I thought it was going to be kind of similar to season 1 where they're very stylized, but I didn't think it was going to be like off the charts great. But this opening and ending was really good. I liked the visualization as well within them, showing like All Might being admired by all these different people, but Koichi, like, he's still like influenced by Knuckleduster the most. Like, you see like him in the opening or the ending, I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but you see him kind of like gliding away from All Might, showing that even though he still admires All Might and All Might is the reason why he became a hero, Knuckleduster is the reason why, like, he's doing all this, why he wants to be a vigilante, why he wants to help people. Knuckleduster is that person on the ground for him. All Might to him, for him, is kind of just someone who's like unattainable, right? He's kind of like this otherworldly figure. But Knuckleduster is kind of like that person on the ground that he can actually see and admire and look up to. And that's what I kind of liked about the opening and ending. Now, going into the episode itself, what I like about this episode is that it doesn't waste any time. It's essentially like a seamless transition from season 1. If you watch season 1, you're able to know what's going on in season 2, right? There's a little bit of like recap at the beginning, but overall, like, it's kind of like just continuing the plot line from season 1 without any like unnecessarily long recap, and I like that a lot. So we get to see um Koichi and Pop Step go into, I guess, this kind of like idol, I guess, like retreat thing. And what I like about it is that we get to see Koichi start to awaken his powers, right? At the beginning of the series, or in season 1, we find out that after like some stuff went down with his mom, he kind of like locked away like the full extent of his powers, right? Like, Koichi is a character that's able to fly. So we're seeing now where he's being able to like unlock now new certain things with his quirk. And one thing that he's unlocked is the power to stick to things, kind of like Spider-Man. And that's pretty cool in my opinion. Like, as someone who's like an anime only with vigilantes, seeing this stuff play out is really cool to me. So the fact that we have a character like similar to Deku in a way, where Deku was learning like different aspects of One for All, getting new like parts of the quirk, like Black Whip and stuff like that. I like that Koichi in turn is kind of unlocking new aspects about his quirk, right? So when he was trying to catch up to the train, we saw him kind of like propel himself with his quirk, and then he's able to stick to the train. That's pretty cool in my opinion. That's new aspects to his quirk that we didn't see before in season 1. So seeing Koichi get to evolve his quirk is something I really hope we get to see more going forward. That's honestly one of my favorite aspects of the show so far. So if we get more of that, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Koichi, because Koichi is already being set up to be such a cool protagonist in my opinion. Now, going on from that, like, the Pop Step stuff was cool. I don't really like the Pop Step stuff that much. It's not really my favorite part. It's always animated well. Pop Step just isn't my favorite part of the show, but everything else surrounding the like idol retreat thing was great. So one thing that I really like is the police investigating Trigger with FatGum. Also, can I just say it's so good to see FatGum again, and seeing FatGum being actually like important to the plot again. It's been a minute for FatGum, and I'm glad to see him back in the forefront. But what I really liked about this investigation is the investigation is essentially starting over from square one. In season one, like Knuckleduster was the one figuring everything out about Sugar, right? He's the one that learned pretty much everything about it. But because he's essentially retired to essentially help like take care of his daughter again, like he's off the grid. So the police can't turn to him. So the investigation is essentially operating like blindly. Where Knuckle Duster knew pretty much everything about Trigger, they know nothing. So they are starting from square one. And that's honestly kind of cool. I like that. I like the fact that Knuckle Duster knows all this stuff, but he's hanging up the vigilante life because all he cared about was saving his daughter, right? Saving his daughter, and now he's essentially retired. So now the police now have to operate without that information. So we're seeing like Sukauchi conducting this whole big investigation essentially blind. Sure, he's got Aizawa like on the ground, which is cool by the way. Like having Aizawa like his first essentially big like undercover mission is so cool to me, right? Because Aizawa at this point of the story only really cares about kind of like just beating up villains and stuff like that and like taking them to jail and not really being like in the public eye. So what I like about this is it's showing Aizawa reluctantly becoming more and more important, right? He's a character that never wanted to be in the spotlight, but Vigilantes, it looks like, is going to be the first step of him having to become more important, whether it's because of his quirk or because people genuinely need him. That's what I think we're going to be exploring more as we go on. And the one thing that I know about Vigilantes is that we have a whole big arc for Aizawa coming up where we learn about him and his past and everything that went down there. So that is what I'm most looking forward to with Aizawa. Seeing how did he get like this, right? Why is he like this? Why doesn't he want to be in the spotlight or anything like that? And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him. Like Aizawa is one of my favorite characters in My Hero Academia. So the fact that we get to kind of see him in his prime again, because at in the final season of My Hero Academia, he's kind of sidelined just because he's more crippled than he was before. Like he only has one leg. He like had one of his eyes completely crushed. So he's not operating at full strength in the final season. Sure, he's important, but Monoma is the reason why he's able to do so much or able to contribute so much in the final war. But here, we're going to get to see Aizawa in his prime again. Like, this is going to be season one Aizawa again, essentially, but even more powerful, in my opinion. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Aizawa. Looking forward to seeing his flashback, but that's enough of that. What I also like too is the crab girl. I think her name was Koigi. I'm pretty sure her name was Koegi. I'm pretty sure something like that. But I like that she's an undercover cop, right? You think she's just some weird and eccentric character at first who's like one of the idols with Pop Step. And then nope, she's just an undercover cop who's going to be essentially leading the charge to try to learn more about Trigger. I thought that was actually kind of a cool twist because I thought she was just going to be just some weird character that I didn't like and who wasn't funny. But I like the fact that she's actually really important to the investigation as a whole. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with her going into the operation. Like I wonder if she's actually going to be able to contribute much, or if this operation is going to be able to succeed without a hitch. I'm looking forward to see what they do there. That's going to be pretty cool. Now, what do I think is going to happen in the next episode? Because this episode was kind of like a setup for this operation in a way. It was pretty much just to get everybody like in the same location for this operation to take place. What I think is going to happen is obviously, I think this plan might not work. Because it's only going to be episode 2. There's no way they're going to be able to like stop Trigger and all that. I do think that the operation is going to fail, but how it's going to fail, I'm not too sure. I do think Koichi might actually be evolving his quirk more, just given from the preview. I think he's gonna like be able to master more aspects of his quirk in this episode. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. And I think Pop Pop Step even might get in on the action. I don't know. Like Pop Step is a good character. I just don't like the idol stuff. But if she like starts like throwing hands, I think that'd be pretty cool. Make Pop Step like a competent fighter. I think that could be dope. But aside from that, I think it's pretty much just going to be helping Koichi evolve his quirk more, stopping this part of the like drug distribution going on, and I think the mission might fail. I'm not too sure, but I'm looking forward to next episode, man. It's so good to being able to talk about My Hero Academia again. I miss this. I've missed this world. I've missed quirks. I've missed everything about My Hero Academia. So having this season of Vigilantes like week to week now, I'm looking forward to covering this, man. This is going to be great. But I think that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you guys think that this was a very strong premiere similar to me? Or did you guys think that this episode could have done something else that would have raised your, I guess, expectations more? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.